Sorry. It's the all-time low love like tour video meet and greet thing. Though it wasn't really a meet and greet, it was actually the Soundcheck party. Because there was meet and greets in the Soundcheck party and all that yada. So yeah, it was actually the Soundcheck party. And it was so worth the $120. So if it ever happens again, I might actually consider it. The only reason I had to do $120 is because I had to buy me one and I had to buy my mom one because she was coming with and I didn't want to like bail on her. Plus she was all for meeting them. She's actually really into them too. So it was pretty nice. But anyway, so I want to. When did we go in? When did we go in? 3:30. And oh, by the way, there's going to be a part in the middle where I go off topic, but it's totally important. Like, I just have to mention it. But anyway, so we went in at like 3:30. They didn't come out right away. Well, obviously it was sound check, so they were all setting up. And normally they do the sound check part. They said they did the sound check. Sorry, I'm like stretching out my neck. They did the sound check part first, and then the pictures. Well, they were having really bad issues with their mics and stuff, and like all the PA system and like everything. So like they were taking a while. And so they were like, well, let's just do the pictures real quick, get them out of the way. So we go on there, and that's the wrong thing. So they take us on the stage, and we're waiting and everything, and we're like behind it. Like, it was really weird. The barricade, like, okay, no, I'm sorry, not the barricade. The backstage was like, it was like outside, kind of. So like we were outside on the steps to go onto the stage. And my mom, she's like, I'm going to throw up. I'm like, no, Mom, I think you'll be fine. And she's like, no, I'm probably going to puke. Because, like, she had kind of met them before, like, at rock shows. She met Zach and Ryan, and then she kind of met Alex and Jack, but not really. So, potentially, this was her first time meeting them all. So, like, she was having, like, a major, like, panic attack, almost. And, I'm like, Mom, you're going to be fine. And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, Mom, you'll be fine. Well, we get in there, and I'm like, there are like a couple people from my mom, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. And she's like, see what I mean? I'm like, it's not because I'm nervous. Do not get me wrong. I'm not nervous. I'm chill. Because this is like my 6th meet and greet with all-time meet. Sixth time meeting all-time low total. So I was like, meh. I'm like, no, I'm freaking the fuck out. Because normally for meet and greets, they're all spread out. And now this is going to sound really fangirl of me. And you can hate me and judge me and do whatever the hell you want. But I'm like, I cannot take so much perfection in one spot. Like, what? There's like the 4 of them, like, in, like, within, like, 2 feet of each other. Like, I just, no. And, she was kind of, like, laughing at me, and I'm like, but I'll be fine, I'll go up there, and I'll talk to him, no problem. She's like, well, hopefully I can. I'm like, oh, you will. Apparently she went up, and she was like, happy early birthday, Zach. And he's like, oh, thank you. And then apparently, I guess after that, because it was Zach, Alex, Ryan, Jack, and I guess she got to Alex, and she said her brain literally just, like, shut off. And she was like, I totally forgot what I was going to tell you. And he was just like, it's okay. She's like, I'm so nervous, you guys. Like, I'm shaking. That's how nervous I am. And they're like, it's okay. It was so cute. I'm like, that reminds me of when I met them almost 4 years ago the first time. Like, I was the same way. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Like, it's cute because it's my mom, and it's just like, what? But at the same time, it's kind of like, God damn it, Mom. Like, they better not make the connection of us two, because then they're gonna be like, what is wrong with your mother? So yeah, so I guess they were like, it's okay, just take this picture with us, it'll be fine. And she was like, okay. So she took it with them and then walked away all quickly because she was all scared. I'm like, aw, Mom. Well, then I walk up and they're like, hey! Like, and I'm like, oh, hi, And then I'm like, So did Zach. I'm like, oh, happy early birthday. He's like, oh, thanks. It's coming so quickly. I'm like, I know. Getting old. He just kind of laughed. And then I was like next to Alex, and I'm like, oh, so I came all the way from Washington. Because I was in Anaheim, California, and I came all the way from out here. This is like, I don't live in Seattle, but I just tell everyone Seattle because apparently no one knows any of the other cities in Washington. So I was like, I came all the way from Seattle. And he's like, cool. I'm like, literally, he had like no enthusiasm at all. I was like, you don't really give a shit, dude. He was like, no, it's actually really cool. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then I went to like Ryan and I gave him the thing and I just kind of said hi. He's like, hey, you. And I'm like, hey. And he's just like, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. And I'm like, and then it's always like the same thing. Hey, you. Like, yeah, it was just really funny. And then I walked over to Jack to say something and I don't remember what I was going to fucking say. Like, I was going to tell him something that was on, like, I don't even remember. But, because, like, Ryan interrupted and was like, wait, so you don't want a picture? And I'm like, really, Ryan? I paid $120 for me and for her. And you're going to, yes, I want a picture. It was just really funny. So then we, like, took the picture really quick because I was like, because, like, Jack had my CD still. But we took the picture really fast. And, they all really kind of look the same, but this is basically what it is. My face is super white, so you really can't see it. But my first group picture, and I literally could not stop looking at it the whole next day. But yeah, and then afterwards I went to get their hugs and everything, and they all were like, thank you, and all sweet and everything. And then Jack like fucking like squeezed super hard, and I'm like, oh my god, you're like, I literally, when he hugged me, I went, because he squeezed so hard. Everyone around just kind of started laughing, and I'm just like, don't kill me. He is like, oh, it's just really funny. He's like, that's so, like, I'm totally trying, like, and then, like, I almost went to walk away, I'm like, oh, wait, and the manager was like, what? I'm like, I have to show them something. He's like, make it quick, because they were, like, trying to make it really fast, so I'm like, I have to show you guys something really awesome, and it was my tattoo, and hold on, I'm all backwards. This is basically it right here. Basically, it's the skull, and it says, love yourself so no one has to, above it and below it. And, yeah, so when I, like, stuck my arm out like that, they were like, I'll slowly tell you each of their reactions, because I have to tell you Alex's, like, by itself, because it's fucking funny. But, Jack was like, yeah, I saw that when you handed me the CD, that's awesome. And then Ryan, he was like, oh, sweet. And then Zach was like, nice, dude. Like, that's... And then, oh my god. Like, Alex, like, beat them out the ballpark reaction-wise. Like, he literally was like, nice! Like, he got, like, out, like, all excited. And he's like, so awesome! And I'm like, okay. And they're like... They're like, you must really love us. I'm like, yeah. You're on my body forever now. It was really funny. So then I walked away, and then we went down, and we went for the actual, like, sound check part that we were supposed to originally do first. And, oh no, I'm sorry. Then after all that, we took our group picture, and I went up to the front, and they made us do a, group picture. I have to show you guys this real fast. They made us do a group picture where we all made weird faces, and oh my god, Alex's face. We just have to appreciate his face for a moment. When the manager was like, oh, let's do the crazy faces, I'm like, oh my god, I only can imagine what they're doing behind me. Like, I just knew I was gonna see it later and be like, god damn it. Like, you guys are crazy. Explain how the rest of it went while I get it loaded up. But anyway, so like after the group pictures, we went down and we started to watch the sound check, and they did Backseat Serenade and Stella. And during Backseat Serenade, he started to do the chorus, and halfway through the chorus, like the first part of first one, chorus, okay. And during the chorus, his voice, like his microphone went out, so it was all like quiet for a moment. Then they could finish the rest of Backseat Serenade. So he basically did almost the entire song with no microphone. It was like right before, like in the last chorus, where his like microphone came back on. So yeah, it was insane. And then they did Stella, and I was kind of like bummed because I'm like, fuck. Because I remember he had said something like, Stella or Stay Awake. You guys can't have both. You guys keep cheering for both. You can't have both. And Jack's like, of course they can. Give them both. And I'm like, yeah, give us both. And then Alex is like, fine, Stella Awake it is. And I'm just like, God damn it. And then they ended up just doing Stella, and it made me scared that they weren't going to play Stay Awake during the show, but they did! But you can't really see his face because it's like a huge group, so I'll zoom in on his face. But here's the actual picture. Now I'm going to like zoom in, like, just, yeah. I was like, God damn it. Like, I knew when it came up that when they said, oh, let's do a weird picture, I was just like, so, yeah, that was that. And then, so they did Stella, and Stella went perfectly through. And then afterwards they were like, well, when we're done, now that we're done, we normally would take the pictures, but we already did that, so you gotta get the fuck out. And, so we left, and we all got to hug the new manager, which was awesome, because Flyzik would have never hugged all of us. Not trying to hate, but he would have never done that. And then I left, and we waited and waited and waited for, like, the doors. We had, like, 2 hours, right? So I get out there, and I'm talking to my mom, like, so should we go back to the hotel and drop some stuff off? She's like, yeah, why not? I'm like, yeah, because I forgot my inhaler. And she's like, yeah, okay, then let's do that. And now, mind you, my inhaler is crucial when it comes to concerts, because if I don't have it, I will die. Like, that's not a joke. So we were walking back. It was in House of Blues in Anaheim, so it was downtown Disney. So we were walking through downtown Disney to get out of the Disney, resort to get to the hotel. And, oh my God. I start walking, and I'm like, at a distance, I'm like, why does that guy look so familiar? Fuck, dude. And we get closer and closer, and I'm like, like my heart just like kind of drops, and like not really freaking out so much, but kind of, like I was freaking out on the inside, but on the outside I was like totally keeping it cool. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, that's Tony. And she goes, who? I'm like, Tony from Pierce the Veil. But I was like, I got overexcited, so I was like kind of loud. So then he like heard me, and he looked over, and he kind of just smiles at me, and I'm like, like, I don't know what happened, but I just kind of like, I was gonna ask for a picture, but I kind of went like, my brain literally just like shit out, like, and plus he was with his girlfriend, so I just got really awkward for a second. I was like, fuck, what do I do right now? And then we just kept walking, and I'm like, fuck, why did I ask for a picture? Son of a bitch! Like, I just was so mad. And then we were walking back, and I'm like, Mom, just so you know, if we see him again, you better, like, fucking get me to go get a picture. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be upset. Because if I see him again, I'm just destined. And she's like, okay. So we're in Wetzel's Pretzels, waiting, and I'd be fucking damned, he walks by, like, on the outside as we're in line, and I guess I didn't really think to get out of line. And now I'm kind of, like, pissed about it. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Like I saw him, and I'm like, that is not right, man. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I saw him twice. And didn't get it. And that was, like, literally the first time I ever, like, saw a band member, just randomly, like, on the street, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, what the hell? Like, it wasn't like they were performing that night or anything. He was just there, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, yeah, that was that whole thing happened. And then during the show, actually, right before Love Like War, Jaime came out, and I about lost my shit, because I don't want to say Jaime's my favorite, but he's my favorite. Sorry. So, yeah, I just was kind of freaking out over that. But, God, good tour, man. So worth the 21-hour drive and all the drama and all the shit that I had in between. It was so worth all that. So, yeah. Adios.